Hello, friends. Welcome to a update video that I've been planning on doing anyway, because as you well know, I do a lot of this sort of stuff, but it's always in weird little bubbles. It's like the Formula One podcast, and then the Patreon stuff, and then everything else. And I think my own YouTube channel gets sort of lost in the shuffle a lot of the times. And I'm also so busy all the time that it's difficult to sort of spend time to put down one of these hot vlogs. And also, I guess I'm especially kind of doing one right now because I got nominated for an award, which has literally never happened to me ever. I'm super humbled and quite frankly surprised to be listed in the 5 nominees for Trending Gamer on the Video Game Awards, Jeff Keighley's award show that's on every year, which I've been to once. I went to its inaugural year, I think, in Vegas. Went to cover the stuff. I think it was happening around the same time as the PlayStation experience. I think they were like side by side. So I'd actually been to it once, and I really like it. I have huge respect for Jeff's entire career, and it certainly sort of shaped what I've done pretty directly. Especially when you look at the stuff he did on Steam with like the final days of Portal and stuff like that, or final hours. That was he's someone who I look up to, and I like the awards show. So to actually be nominated is insane. I'm up and I'm also nominated. Like let me thank you to everyone who's been voting for me. Thank you so much. I don't hold much personal hope of winning. I'm totally okay with that. If people want to vote for me, thank you so much. I'll put the link up on the screen here. That'll be amazing, and I can already see Greg Miller and like the Giant Bomb Gaff thread and stuff, and everyone sort of mobilizing to vote on my behalf. So thank you all so much. But I'm listed with a bunch of people who have much bigger followers than me, so I'm not really expecting it. Boogie's in there, who is somebody who I really like. I consider him a friend. He's a good dude. Jacksepticeye is there, which means 2 of the 5 trending gamers are Irish, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's like a bunch of really good people on there. Lyrics there, of course, Twitch streamer who's super popular, and of course Angry Joe, who's one of the biggest YouTubers of all time, especially in the gaming space. So I mean, I'm there with a bunch of really popular people who make really good work. The stuff that I do is different. Obviously, I'm the only person with a real name on the list, which is cool. And I guess the stuff that I do is different because I'm coming at it from the sort of press side. But I'm not in the mainstream media anymore, and I'm also not an influencer because I don't do any advertising or paid for work. I'm kind of this like little bubble in the middle. But that's cool. I think me and by extension, hopefully, Noclip getting recognized is like a super cool thing. If the mainstream, or like the tip of the iceberg of the enthusiast press, which is sort of like drifts into the mainstream, if they're recognizing what we're doing, then that makes me feel really good. So thank you so much to everyone. I don't know how those things get vetted. I assume it's the voting group fills in names. I think that's how Jeff got nominated the first year, if I remember that bombcast correctly. So thank you so much if you're a part of those people who put my name down. That really means a lot. And thank you so much to everyone who's been voting for me too. Sorry if the mixer still has feedback on it, so I wear this to stop feedback coming through for you guys. So yeah, just in case you didn't think this was a professional outlet here. I want to do a quick little update on everything else while I have everyone here, I guess. The first Rocket League documentary did really well, way better than I was expecting. Maybe not way better than I was hoping, let's say. I was kind of hoping it'd be cool if we got like 100,000 views on one of those videos, and it's broken it. Cumulatively with the trailer, they've done 250,000, which is really cool. I'm not in the numbers game anymore, but to see people like watch the stuff and see it at the top of Reddit games for 2 days in a row is like makes me feel a lot better. The Doom project is coming December. It's coming early December. I don't know how early in December. The reality of the Doom project is we shot twice as many interviews as we did Rocket League in terms of time. The story it tells, the depth of it, and the amount of stuff that's never been told before is quite there's a lot more of it. I want to say intimidating, but there's a lot more TLC that needs to go into it. Sorry, excuse me. So though we're aiming to get one of these out a month, right? That's always been the plan. This one feels like, and with Thanksgiving in the middle, it sort of messed it up time-wise a little bit. But I want to put in that extra bit of TLC on this one to make sure that we really, really, really nail it. And this already feels like the best thing I've ever worked on in terms of just pure content without actually getting into the sort of edit and tweaking it. So I'm spending a lot of time with these interviews. So that's going to be coming then. I think it's going to be a 3-parter. I think it's going to be the sort of like the a little bit of a nod to Doom 1 and 2, then very much talking about the team working on Doom 3, the Call of Doom project, as it's kind of known, that what happened there, and then sort of leading into Doom. Then we have the design of Doom, which is going to be the most. I don't think anyone's ever made a video like this. I mean, like, there are really good people like Aaron Signal and Super Bunny Hop who do really good like analysis of games and TB and stuff like that. This is kind of that from the designer's perspective. So we're going to talk a lot about level design and movement. And it's basically like a 101 on that and how they built the game. It's not about like the story of how the game got successful. It's about like how they actually managed to reboot Doom in like a really nuts and bolts kind of way. And it is fascinating. It's like, if you were taken by that game the way I was, hearing them talk about how self-aware they were about the public perception and what they did to like get the public on board, and the things they did that they realized, oh no, this is the Doom we have to make, not the other type that we were making before. It's fascinating. So that's probably going to be number 2. And then number 3, I think, is going to go in between the two of them. I'm thinking of doing a entire video just around the development of the first level of Doom. Like a sort of the anatomy of an opening level, because we talked, it's such an important part of the story of Doom 2016, and we'll sort of get to that in the documentary, like why. But the way that first level came about and the way they changed it and iterated it and what they were trying to communicate with the player is so fascinating that I think I'm just going to make one video just about that. That's the current plan at the moment. So those are going to be amazing. Then we'll have all the extended interviews with like a litany of id super like, I don't know, massive names, like influential people. That'll all be going up as well, making ofs and stuff like that in December. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, and that's basically it. I'm working my arse off. It's always terrifying at this part of the Patreon, because we see a lot of people take on at the start of the month and then they sort of dip off when there's not that much stuff on the new project. It's actually weirdly counterintuitive. I put up loads of stuff for patrons this week, like loads, all the extra interviews. We have a 23-minute behind the scenes video, all that sort of stuff. It's really strange. If I do lots of updates, we see more people delete their pledges. Almost like I'm reminding them that they're a patron in their email, because they get emails every time there's an update that they're in the reward tier. So it's really strange. It's like we published a load of work this week, and we also had probably the biggest drop off we've ever seen in the patrons in terms of patronage. In terms of money, in terms of the actual number of patrons, we're still going up, and that's more important to me. I would rather more people are invested in this and are giving money that they are comfortable with, rather than people sort of overdoing it a little bit. It gives me a much better idea of where we are in terms of the financials, which allows me to project more. And right now I'm basically planning the next 6 months kind of where we're going to be at for Noclip. So that involves like trips to several different continents that aren't North America. So we're currently in talks with a lot of that stuff. So it's making me feel a little bit uneasy, because it's like we're gonna go fly this place, but we mightn't have the funding. But it like we will have, because we've banked a lot as well. Although I got to pay that January tax bill, which is gonna fucking suck. But yeah, so it's a little bit weird at the moment, because I'm also basically just like sitting there and editing for like 6 days straight, so I'm not really doing much else. Except for the streams. Ocarina of Time is going to be on 25 minutes. So I'm working my ass off. Jeremy's working his ass off. He's currently color grading all the Doom stuff so he can get it over to me. We're doing a very interesting shoot around Doom. We used the RC car for the Rocket League thing. We're obviously not using an RC car for Doom. We have another idea. It's a lot more in the guise of like I don't know, like an HBO opening sort of intro credit than anything else. The motif we're using is quite fun, and it's also one that they mentioned a lot in terms of how they explain game design. So it's gonna be quite cool. So we're shooting that the week after Thanksgiving, and then hopefully we'll have everything else ready and just go blah, blah, and that'll be it. But we're gonna see, because it's taken a while. But it's gonna be super good. So that's kind of the update right now. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If the streaming schedule is kind of back to normal now, you might see all the first encounters and Ocarina of Times popping up here on this channel. And the other thing is my op-ed show, which I had basically written a script for and had the branding done. And then Waypoint launched. So I can tell you the original rename I had for it was going to be Spawn Point instead of The Point. But now Vice's new gaming channel is called Waypoint. So I can't, it's just too confusing. So I have had to go back to the drawing board in terms of naming. I have 1 or 2 names in my head. I have a script kind of half written. I'm gonna see if we can get that done next week. But yeah, sorry, it's the one thing out of all the half a dozen things that I said I do with the Noclip Patreon that I've not actually done yet, and I feel real shitty about it. So apologies for that. It's just that branding stuff takes forever, and then you spend money doing it, and then you have to get rid of it. And it's well, it's a good thing we actually hadn't spent money doing it, because I was just about to go to my graphics guy and say, okay, I've done the logo for it. I could probably put the logo up here, the demo logo. There. Looks like shit, right? I was going to get somebody else to do better. But yeah, it's unfortunately kind of was a little bit of a spanner in the works. But yeah, glad everyone loved the Rocket League stuff. We're working our asses off. The Doom one's going to be amazing. The stuff for early 2017 is going to be super fun. It involves not talking about games, but talking about people more. The people who play games, make games, talk about games. And it also involves traveling. And it also involves traveling where you want us to go. So it's going to be an interesting sort of new angle that you're not used to, because the 2 ones we've done have actually been rather contemporary games. And also while we're doing that, we've also already shot another retrospective for a classic game that came out in the 90s, which I haven't talked to anyone about yet. And we're also planning a retrospective for one of the most popular games ever made, which I'm delighted for, which we'll hopefully be shooting in the next 2 months. Month probably. Maybe. And also there's one other one now that I think about it that's happening while I'm in Europe. So there's loads happening. I hate not being able to tell you about it, but hopefully you guys can see that we're doing what we're saying and you can trust us. And I'll feel a lot better about this whole thing in about 3 months' time once we have 4 amazing projects up. Instead of right now, it's we've won, but I mean, it was good, right? We kind of did okay, but there's more coming. So. This is how it feels like when you're working on your own. You're in a bubble and you don't know if everyone loves your work or if they hate it or if they're excited and overjoyed and they think it's better than they imagined or they're disappointed or whatever. So please let me know in the comments below how you're feeling about Noclip, how you're feeling about this channel, whether you'd like less of the VOD streams, whether you'd like more of the point stuff, whether I talk too much about patrons on Twitter or here or whatever. I'm super open to hearing feedback on it. And again, thank you so much for helping me become a trendy gamer, I guess. And by all means, please hit nominate if you want. I will be going to the awards. Myself and my wife were already planning to go to LA a different time in December, so we're going to change our flights. And we have a friend who lives around the corner from where the awards are on. So we're just going to go down for the night and then come back the next day and hang out with people and... Who knows? I'm excited to go to the awards so I can hang out in the green room and then get people to do stuff with Noclip. So that's going to be fun. Thank you so much for watching this. I got to go set up Ocarina of Time. I'm stuck at Zelda, but thank you for putting up with me through it. I'll talk to you all real soon. Cheers.